These are our 5 most important Cubs this season, and we tried to pull from every part of the team, so we've got a well-rounded group. At number 5, this might surprise some people, Porter Hodge. Can he be the co-closer this year with Presley and the closer of the future moving on?
Yeah, that's a big question going into the year, but I think fans are optimistic about it, and they should be after his ERA under 2 last year. So yeah, I'm optimistic, and he's going to be very key to this team being good, because if Presley struggles, then Porter Hodge will be that first man up to close games.
His K per 9 was almost 13 last year. It's down on the Zips projection for this year, but the reason he's so important is how bad the bullpen was last year. They've got to fix that, and Porter Hodge is both the present and the future. For number 4, we stick with pitching, but we go right to Justin Steele.
Yeah, Justin Steele, he's been as consistent as anyone in the starting rotation for the Cubs the last 2.5 years. If you go all the way back to 2022 when he had a conversation with John Lester, and he took off from there. He's had an ERA near 3 the last 2 years as a full-time starter, was an all-star in 23. Last year, probably would have flirted with that again if he didn't get hurt in the very first game of the year. Thankfully, in 24, he's already surpassed that, got past the first game. I'm looking forward to another similar type Justin Steele season. Just being the workhorse at the top. We're hoping. I'm optimistic or banking on 150 to 170 innings.
Let's forget about Tokyo. Scratch that. Pretend it didn't count. The last 3 years, his ERA 3.16, 3.06, 3.07, with Zips projecting 3.34 this year. They need that quality consistency in the rotation. It's critical at the top because it trickles down after that, and Justin Steele has been exactly that, which is why I still say he's the ace of the team.
Yeah, I mean, we could sit here and argue about who the ace of the team is between him and Shota, but the thing about both of them is that they've been durable, and they've been able to eat innings for you and get you to a 6th inning and have a chance to win. And the thing about Steele is when you hand him the ball, he goes out and he finds a way. Some of the things that I think he's grown the last couple of years is the days that he doesn't necessarily have his best stuff, he still finds a way to give you 6. And really good pitchers are able to do that.
Hodge and Steele give you somebody from the bullpen, somebody from the rotation, run prevention, but that's also defense, and that's why Dansby Swanson for me is number 3. He's a guy that still has that potential to give you his best season at the plate. Now, his final year in Atlanta, he was a 6.6 FWAR player.
Yep.
Since then with the Cubs, 4.9, 4.3. If he can go back to hitting now that he's healthy, if he can give you a WRC plus of 112, now you've got a guy that's impacting the lineup, can creep back up the lineup. Well, I'm not expecting a 35 home run guy, but if he can get 25 home runs and play the best defense in the league at shortstop, that's a player that's super valuable in both the middle of your infield and also a little bit lower in the lineup. To me, Dansby's critical to this team, and they're paying him that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you go back to May and June of last year, specifically May, Dansby hit well under 200 in May, and it was largely because he was hurt. Now, we've talked a lot before about how sometimes he gets in his own way whenever injuries get in the way and he wants to play through things.
Pride.
He probably should have sat last year in May, and he didn't, and it showed, and it hurt the team. But I think he's made it through the spring. He looked good in Tokyo. I think that the offense will be a lot better this year. His highest WRC plus of his career is around 117, I think. So, yeah, if you get a 110 WRC plus out of Dansby Swanson to go with the best defense at shortstop in 2025, you're looking at a 5 WAR player.
I'd take a 5 WAR player, but what if he gets to 6 or 6.6 like he did with the Braves?
Well, that home run total is higher than what we've seen the first 2 years with the Cubs, then.
Right. Well, the wind might be blowing out this year instead of blowing in. Jed would be very happy because he'd be exceeding projections.
There you go.
Number 2 on our list, most important Cubs of 2025, King Tuck. Kyle Tucker, that's why we're here. We spent the last 2 years begging the Cubs to bring us a superstar player. MLB Network says he's one of the top 14 players in Major League Baseball. I say if he's healthy, he's easily top 10. Easily top 10. He's right there with Juan Soto when he's healthy.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that you can for sure put him above Juan Soto is the defense.
Yeah.
You know, he's won a Gold Glove. I think his at bats, even though the results haven't been there in the spring, but you saw him take an opposite field ball all the way to the wall in Japan. Just easy opposite field power. The one homer he hit in the spring, was more left center than anything else. And so he has power to all fields. When this guy gets hot, especially in the summer at Wrigley with hopefully more wind blowing out than in, this guy, we could be talking about a special summer for a guy who honestly should be given a large amount of money. Could be given a large amount of money at the end of the year.
And I'm not sure if the better he plays, the less likely it is that he remains with the Cubs after one season. I am surprised that he's never been more than a 5 WAR player. For the people that complain about Dansby Swanson, who was a 6.6 in Atlanta, he's never been above 5, but the consistency's been there. And if the health is there, last year he would have been way over that mark.
Yeah. He played 80 games and had similar numbers to Ian Happ in terms of home runs and WRC plus stuff like that. Not WRC plus. He had like a 180 WRC plus, but in 80 games. He put up Ian Happ's numbers in 80 games. That says a lot about what kind of player he can be. I just think health is important for him. I think that adjusting to a new team, playing at Wrigley Field, will be interesting to watch in terms of how his numbers are either better or different compared to when he was with Houston. I think all those things do matter. So, and the most important thing, he's now the guy. He was a really, really, really great player surrounded by other great players in Houston. Now he's the guy. How will he adjust to that and help lead this Cubs team to the playoffs in 25? It'll be fun to watch, I think.
I think most people would have thought that Kyle Tucker would be number 1 on our list. But there's backup plans for Kyle Tucker. The outfield is deep, especially in the farm system. So number 1 for me is Matt Shaw, because the Cubs have pushed all their chips in on their number 1 prospect at third base. There aren't a lot of backup plans. You didn't get Bregman. And so it's show us, kid. Show us what you can do.
Yeah, him and probably Gage Workman. We'll see. But Matt Shaw, top prospect in the organization, top 20 prospect in baseball. I see so much Dustin Pedroia in this kid. But I think fans have to be patient with the bat early, especially since he missed most of spring training. But hopefully by midseason, this guy has gone through the lumps and the struggles of being a rookie, trying to adjust to major league pitching, and we see this guy take off. But the one thing that I feel like we can for sure feel pretty good about is the defense at third base will be significantly better than what it was last year.
And that flipped from what I maybe thought 6 to 8 months ago about Matt Shaw. Cubs players drafted and developed into stars: Bryant, Schwarber, Happ, and hopefully Matt Shaw. How about a Rookie of the Year?